welcome to another episode of Director Review. I did that to make Leonard deaf.
Yep. And
Did it work?
You really did it. We shouldn't have put that futon in here. That was the worst idea.
This is a great idea.
Because now
I
I'm
love
the
this
only
futon.
one that has to listen in on what we're recording, and that means I have to go deaf, and everything sounds modulated now because I'm deaf.
Good.
I'm glad.
Welcome everybody, and I have a splitting headache.
Sounds like a personal problem.
Could be the
Sucks to
Vietnamese coffee that I chugged, but I don't know. Anyways, we're back for another Friday edition of our Director Review, except today is not a foreign film Friday. Nope, today is going to be a special because
Because
Cloverfield,
this thing dropped.
during the Super Bowl, right? Wasn't it during the Super Bowl?
Yes.
Yes.
Just as they show the trailer for Cloverfield Paradox, bam, it's available.
On Netflix.
And it's incredible.
Right? It's getting some hate, as I see.
But you know what? There have been a few movies that we've reviewed that have gotten hate for no reason.
Right?
Greatest Showman.
Really?
Yeah, Greatest
like-
Showman.
That's in theaters still, so who's winning?
Exactly. So, okay, Cloverfield Paradox. Where does this take place in the timeline? If you don't know the Cloverfield series, it started, man, when was the first one? I've got it up. Look at that. I'm already prepared. Guys, this is a first. So the first one was 10 years ago.
Yes.
I never saw that one.
Well, it was good. It made people sick because it's all shot from like a single
Witch Project
perspective.
people.
Yeah. It's supposed to be like someone was having a party and then they were recording everything and you're just seeing the tape being played back.
Yes.
But then in, what is it? 10 Cloverfield Lane came out in 2016.
I saw that one.
And that one was more of a normal movie where it gave you a perspective of people who are hiding underground. A woman who ends up getting taken in by John Goodman's character, who you assume is just like a serial rapist killer.
And he was.
Kinda.
Yes.
And then you have Cloverfield Paradox, which is the new Netflix original movie. And it actually takes place, should we say? Do you think that's the twist? No?
What?
That it's taking, the time period it's
No.
taking place? Okay, so it's taking place during the first movie. Like, it's coinciding with that first movie.
Isn't it the cause for the first movie, though? I mean, isn't it the cause for everything?
Okay, so that's the thing. Like, that's the
we're confused
paradox. It technically, I don't know. Because that's what I assumed. Like, okay, let's back up here. So this movie is about a crew of people who are up on a space station trying to power the Shepard energy generator, which is supposed to give them unlimited power and unlimited energy because they're going through a power crisis, which they didn't even mention the first one. I felt like that was kind of...
Right?
That would have been great to know.
They were like, oh, this is like the fourth blackout today. And it's just like,
But-
oh, okay, this is just a normal thing.
But that does make sense because in the first one, everything starts with a blackout. Mm-hmm. Like they keep going over that, and you don't know why because technically you're taking it from a perspective of a video camera, not even from somebody who's giving you information.
Yes.
Like you wouldn't just turn on a video camera and be like, "Boy, these blackouts have been something because we're in an energy crisis." That would be a little weird. So I understand what they're doing there. But yeah, so they're up on this thing and they get the Shepard on the space station. Sorry,
This object.
It
this
has lots of
object.
spinny parts.
Yes, and once again, that's the retrograde motion to keep them stable.
It spins
Yes.
round and round.
I still think the science is off, but hey, you know what? Go ahead.
The science of what exactly?
Gravity. In
No,
general.
you have to think about two opposites, right? So if you're going to keep something in a stasis, then you have to have them spinning in opposite directions at different points so that they can all work in harmony, right?
I see what you're saying.
Uh-huh.
I get your idea. Doesn't work.
Why doesn't it work?
Remember, Alena also is kind of subpar on the idea that we can re-enter the atmosphere. So
That's true.
I'm not saying we didn't. I'm not saying we did.
Okay, hold on. Wait, I know how to convince you of the whole motion thing.
Go ahead.
It's the whole thing of, and I always say the word wrong. Mm-hmm. So correct me, please.
Okay.
it's the whole thing of centrifugal.
Which are you
Centrifugal
talking?
or centrifugal?
Centrifugal. Are you talking about the Earth?
She can't say it
movement?
either.
I always want to say centrifugal, but okay.
Okay. Anyways, so it's the whole idea of that force that
Yeah,
when
you're
you're spinning super fast, you keep everything together, right?
Yes, it's the centrifugal force.
Correct. Now, if you wanted to keep something in one singular place, and man, my watch is just going crazy. If you want to keep something in one singular place, then you're going to need opposite forces so that rather than it moving it, like spinning and then moving, you're going to need it to diverge, right? So that center point where they're actually working is in a kind of a stasis in orbit.
Okay.
That's what they do now with the space station. It's
Okay.
spinning.
Very
Always
fast.
spinning. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Now that we got past that,
Yes.
back to the movie.
You spin my head right
Oh, I'm
round,
sorry. That would be
right
the
round.
centripetal force.
Centripetal.
But the centrifugal force works in I can't say that word either. Apparently, I don't speak English very well.
Okay, well, Melody does. It's fine. So, yeah, this movie is about them on the space station. They're trying to get this unlimited power source to start up and actually work and give them stable power. And they get it to start up, but then all hell breaks loose. And when I say hell, I mean literal hell. Like, there are things that happen in this movie that I will never forget.
Yes.
Like worms exploding out of a Russian man's body.
Yes.
He was also housing the compass
He was. And
in his
also
body.
the arm that was torn off of a person's body and then used to help them.
But so cleanly cut off that he
That-
didn't even hurt.
It was so weird. Or the woman that was trapped in the wall with all of the parts
wiring.
going through her. Because here comes this like big concept that is a real concept, and it was something they were worried about with the God particle. They figured that when the hydrogen, not hydrogen, what am I saying? The collider, the CERN super collider, when they were searching for the God particle or any greater particle, they thought it was going to either open up a black hole or tear a hole in space and time, and that it would cause something similar to this whole Cloverfield paradox that they were calling it.
Right.
Well, this movie was originally called The God Particle.
Exactly.
So,
it probably got trademarked before they got it out there.
gosh, dang it.
So that, I mean, it's like a real concept where when you mess with those forces that we don't understand, that the adverse effects could be so great and catastrophic that they could
That Cloverfield happens.
that Cloverfield happens. And it kind of destroys the space-time continuum in a way because they jump from one reality to the next, and it's incredibly terrifying. The thing is, like, this movie was so good because it gave me the same nostalgic feel the first time I ever watched Alien. And I love Alien. And so this movie was on par. Like, I loved it.
Did you?
I did. No one else is talking.
Oh, we're letting you go on.
I never saw Aliens, so I can't say one way or the other.
Well, no, I understand that. But
then I never saw the first Cloverfield.
So the question is, like, is it a good sci-fi film?
It's okay.
It's okay? So
I think I'm the only one, maybe, that thinks it's all right. It was good. I mean, it wasn't terrible. It wasn't awful. The acting wasn't terrible. Acting was fine. I think the cast was great. I think, that they chose some random people that you would never find in a movie together, ever.
Or playing space.
Or playing astronauts.
Scientists, so.
And scientists. So it's like, okay, Zhang Zi, well, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, why would you ever have an...
Honestly, I could see her in space, but maybe that's just me.
Okay. And then the guy from Captain America.
Which one?
What do you mean, which one?
Which one?
Oh,
He was the Russian.
He was
He
from
was
Captain
the one that
he
America?
was
had, like,
the
this
villain in
weird
Captain
relationship.
America.
Yeah.
Wait. Oh, he was
In
Red
Civil
Skull?
War.
Or no?
No, he was a Red
The
Skull.
last one.
Oh man, I don't even remember.
He's
It's
one
been
with
a
the
while.
glasses in the Cloverfield movie. He also gets shot
It's
twice.
been a really long time.
Okay.
Well, he was in Captain America. So
Oh, the German. I always get the German mixed up with the Russian because the Russian looked more German than the German.
Oh, well, he played a German. So
So was it more of the science behind it that wasn't It
I
felt
don't know
off.
science, so it all checked out to me.
For me, I just feel like them walking through the broken parts of the ship, let's just call it ship, how is it that, they're still getting, like, some gravitational pull?
Well, they did
even though
explain that,
they're-
remember?
They did?
Yes. So there was
missed that
one
part.
portion of the movie where their maintenance wing ends up exploding and tearing apart a bottom part of the ship. Now, what they were saying was because this maintenance thing was now spinning against them and it was starting to tilt, it was stopping the ship. So they were worried about it tilting to 25 degrees because at that point, like they were saying, it will stop and we'll all be shredded. Because you're stopping at such a fast... it would be like the Earth stopping. And when that happens, if that were to ever happen...
Our equilibrium would be completely thrown off.
whoosh, we would be gone. We would just be dead. Just
So
everyone
how come
dead.
they didn't die?
Because it didn't stop. Because he jetted... there is a particular person who jettisoned that part of the ship, and it kept them in rotation.
Okay.
So that I mean, at least that part is slightly explained, but
Slightly.
because I mean, obviously, you have to have that ex machina moment, right?
I guess so. Okay, you're right. You do. In some movies, they have to have that. And then again, for it being a space movie, I just feel like certain things didn't go as, how is it
Like what?
that, well, let's just say one person gets sucked out of the spaceship.
Yeah.
I just don't understand how this could just quickly happen, or slowly happen, I should say, and then everything else just on the ship work normally just fine. Everything else is fine.
Well, because if you think about it,
Half
I mean,
the ship's broken.
even like the current space station, it's meant to be modulated. So when one part breaks, you can actually cut that
Leave
part
him,
off.
Space expert.
It's just like the ships. The ships, if they have water,
Yeah.
they will seal off.
Sure.
It's the same thing
Sure.
in the larger ships. You can shut off areas.
Yes.
And do basically everything you need to do in one spot.
It just seemed too easy.
It-
Too easy.
But that's what
Okay.
technology does. It makes it easy.
Still skeptical.
But
Go
here's
on.
the thing: it would be like if they actually lost like their main area, like their everything where they were doing
The
all of the
central-
work. Yes, then everything would have fallen apart.
Sure.
And Apollo 13 is actually a good movie to think about for this
I am thinking about it.
because remember they actually were able to disassemble portions of the ship
Yes.
and turn it off and move actions and power to different parts of the ship. Now, this is an actual thing that happened. So they were able to do that and then continue working, even though something did rupture and explode. But that's what you do. You build it kind of like a submarine would be built, where you can turn off areas
Yes.
and fill other areas with what you need so that you can then resurface or, in this case, come back down. Because a submarine is actually what is like the closest thing you could think of to a spaceship.
Okay.
Because
See what
it
you're saying.
requires to stand so much pressure and friction and everything else that comes with either strong gravity or no gravity. So really, it's almost exactly the same. Like they say, if you go down deep enough into the ocean, that you'll have the same pressure as if you were on a
Deeper
certain
than
planet.
The deep blue ocean.
Yes.
Me checking out of this explains why the science checks out to me.
Oh God. Okay. Anyway, so
Hashtag me in biology and chemistry and physics in high school. Actually, in college, I remember going to biology, but I don't ever remember opening my book.
Oh, that's not
so
Isn't
I
that
did all
all
my
college?
labs. That's what's important, guys.
You did
Do
your labs.
your labs, and you
Yes.
can pass with a B.
Unless you live in an Asian household, then B is not acceptable.
Exactly.
If you're in a Mexican household, wow, mija, you made it to college.
I used to have an uncle that would tell me A is for average, B is for
Basic.
better than average.
Oh, wow.
C is could you do better? D
Yeah.
is dang. F is fantastic.
Oh, F is the best.
I love this grading system.
Yeah, because he used to get nothing but F's. So.
Well, there you
That's
go.
how you would say it.
Fantastic.
Oh my god.
So back to
The movie, which we keep falling off of.
I don't know. You guys keep talking about science. I don't really know much about
So
science.
Let's walk outside the science section for a moment and come back to just the movie itself as it is, like as a kind of a mixture of, I don't know, would you call it a horror? Maybe like a thriller.
yes,
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd go
sci-fi
horror.
thriller.
Yeah, for sure.
But so if you think about the Cloverfield Lane, what is
10
10
Cloverfield
Cloverfield
Lane.
Lane. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, whatever. So if you think about that one, the scary part about that wasn't like the monster aspect.
No, it was
It was John Goodman.
Yeah.
He was the scary part. So I've never seen the first Cloverfield, but is that like the thing of Cloverfield?
Well, the thing about Cloverfield is it's supposed to be a movie about aliens. Yet
Right.
every single Cloverfield movie so far doesn't show an alien till the end.
What if it's not about aliens? Now, this is what this movie is doing to me.
is it about what happens with the alien?
I kind of feel like it's not about aliens like at all. I feel like it's more of an interdimensional being that doesn't come from that universe at all.
And the alien is just a divergence or some sort of illusion that's...
No, I
No,
think
I
all
think
of the
it's-
beings are from the other dimension.
I kind of feel like Pacific Rim style, you know?
I've
Where
never
they
seen
came
that
from,
either.
Wow. How have I failed you?
You
are
saw
the
it.
reason
You saw it
she's
like
never seen any
20
of these.
times, and
I saw it 11 times.
in
Wow.
theaters.
10 times in theaters.
And so I just never saw it.
It was insane. I went way too many times, and I went to the IMAX every time.
Wow.
And
That's
it was very
really
expensive. It was $25 a ticket.
Wow.
Think
My
of
Owen Wilson. Wow.
Wow.
wow,
Wow.
wow.
Anyways. But no, I think of Pacific Rim because in Pacific Rim, the kaiju were coming from another dimension. They weren't necessarily like from the stars. They said that a portal had opened up under the sea and that they were coming from another dimension to house the Earth. They were trying to make Earth their new world because their old world was dying, and they found a way over. I feel like the shepherd tore something open, let another being in from another dimension, and it's kind of like a deer when it gets inside a house.
Oh, I was gonna say Justice League.
No, no, I'm thinking of the monster being more like an animal. It like got sucked in there, and it's just freaking out.
What am I doing here?
Exactly, because
What is my life?
in the first Cloverfield, the first thing it starts doing is it starts dropping fleas. Like it's literally dropping parasites off of its body, which is then infecting people and causing them to explode.
Yes, I remember this now.
So to me,
This movie sounds like a trip.
I'm starting to think like, wait a minute, what if all of this, it wasn't attack, it wasn't anything like that. It was just something ripped from one reality, put into another, and now it's like, woo.
Like that one chick in
But-
the Fate space station.
But then what throws a monkey wrench in all that? 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Oh yeah, at
Because
the end.
it's a full-on invasion at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So,
See? Has to be about aliens.
I mean, it's obviously about aliens, but at what point do the aliens come in? Because we just kind of like leave them just as things start making a little bit of sense.
But let's try not to complicate things and dig deep into these movies and let's just
Skim the
cover
surface?
Yes, exactly. Let's skim the surface
So
just a little bit.
Just the general user experience. Like if you came into this, you've seen the other two movies, you enjoy it, you're not super into science or multidimensional theories.
I'm
I
into
say-
science.
I know, but I'm saying if
you're not.
if you're not, like if you're
Oh.
coming at this and it's completely like that's not your thing, but you like sci-fi and you like
Thrillers.
thrillers,
I like to be scared.
I say this is a good one because it just keeps throwing you somewhere else. Like that's not half the time I'd be like, that's not what I was thinking at all. Like,
Right.
where are we going? Like, oh, the worms are missing. Well, where would the worms be? Oh, but then hold on, I'll come back to it. Anyways, I had a moment, and then the worms end up being inside a Russian man. It's like what?
I feel like There
How
were
did
some
that
missing
happen?
parts. Why do they have worms on this plane or this ship?
They
You
always
have
have worms.
Where?
in every
In the
space.
ship.
In every space. They always want to see how they
That's like my
live.
favorite part of Last Man on Earth.
Okay.
How his brother is up in the space station and only his worms survived with him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, now I know what you're talking about. Okay,
Yeah.
so this makes sense now. All right. The worms. They've got worms. Then they've got,
He really had worms.
yes, he had some serious issues with worms.
Some bad worms.
I mean, he started going cross-eyed. It was weird. And
That's okay. That's the moment that I was like, wait a minute. He
oh.
was talking to himself. Like he was talking to something.
Right, like the
and
worms.
then he was starting to when he created the gun he creates this gun, I have to say, in a 3D printer because he's going to like shoot and kill
Should
people.
we mention that they have crew from like not every place on the
Continent?
earth, but like they
All
have
over the world.
Yeah, they have like a person from England, a
until
person
they
from
go into the next dimension where they end up picking up a crew member.
that always happens in interdimensional travel.
Exactly. I mean, Rick and Morty could tell you.
Hmm.
Yeah. Anyways, but I noticed that when he was making the gun, because he goes to the 3D printer, overrides the system, and then starts making this gun, and all of a sudden you see his eye twitch to one side and come back, like it was looking out for somebody.
or it was just possessed and just
Okay,
effed
then
up.
what possessed him? That's the
worms.
thing.
Something had to
not the
possess him
worms.
because he was
It's the
talking to
worms.
himself and he was answering
Yeah, he
himself.
was like,
and
"Yes,
then all
I
of a sudden
understand."
he snapped and he was like, I have to kill everyone on this ship, obviously.
Maybe the worms possessed his brain. Just simple ideas, guys. The worms came out of his body.
Wait a
What
minute.
else could possess him?
Then this whole thing is about how worms really want to take over the earth.
Exactly.
Like that's
Worms are
literally
behind
what
it
it's all
all.
about. So we figured out the whole purpose of Earth. Like we thought that we were the ones in charge. No, it's the worms.
It's the worms.
Thank you.
The worms are
They
the
control
ones doing
everything.
this. That explains tapeworms. That explains ringworm. That explains why we're all always infested with worms.
Correction.
That
Yeah.
actually checks out.
That does check out. I'm scared
See?
now.
See, now we've covered the surface in simplicity.
Now they're gonna kill us.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's
We
okay.
know
No,
too
don't
much.
tell them.
Okay, so I'm going to step back into science mode for a second, Celeste. I'm sorry. But so there's a
I'll be
whole
over here.
theory that they kind of mentioned, which is the multiverse theory, right? So there's several universes or several dimensions within a singular possibility.
Yeah.
So like we are living in this time, but maybe in a possible other dimension that even at thought could be created where we've never even met.
Yes.
Like there is that out there. That's a possibility. So in this one,
I could be married
feel
to
like-
my rich husband.
yeah.
I feel like their ship was torn between several dimensions rather than one because there's that weird scene with the what's that game called? Foosball, right?
Yes.
The foosball table where they changed colors. Only half of them changed colors. So it was like their reality, another reality, and then some other reality was there too.
And a force was moving them
Right. Like what was that?
erratically.
It was all the dimensions coming together in that moment of everyone who had ever played foosball ever.
And then when one of their crews goes down to actually start helping them siphon power and everything, he gets killed by the thing that he like just built because it grabs onto him and then goes into him. Why? What was that about? What possessed the ship to kill him? Now,
There was too many of him in that dimension.
no, that's the thing. They were already all dead.
But we don't know that he was on the ship.
That's what she was saying, though. She said they were all there. The only one that wasn't was Tam, who was the Chinese one, who also died because the
Because-
ship changed it.
Yeah.
So what is that? Like that's the only part in this movie that is still bugging me.
And
It's
they
kind
did
of
kill the captain, too.
yeah. It's like yeah, why? What's going on?
In
now,
another dimension, it went perfectly.
well, yeah, there.
Didn't
That's
get to
So
see
all
that
of them
one.
had to die.
that's the theory. That's the theory of the multiverse. That there's always this other possibility.
I feel like there's a little bit of Interstellar.
Yes, except Interstellar didn't leave me as confused as this one.
Right.
Because what I'm asking, I have so many questions, but I know they're never going to be answered. I just know it because it's J.J. Abrams.
What does that
oh my
mean?
God, my getting bugged.
Turn your sound off, sir.
I always forget.
You're
how...
like the person that has the cell phone in the movie theater. You know, you just
No, here's the thing. I always forget how, and then what ends up happening is I end up pressing that button that makes my phone make a noise.
And then everything is just erratic.
Yes, and then chaos breaks out.
And the worms appear.
Yep.
So the criticism from this movie that I was reading, people are like, this is like a trash teenager version of Alien. And
Ooh.
yeah, that's like what someone
How does
said.
that make sense?
Right? They're just like,
Ooh.
someone tried to mix Alien and other sci-fi flicks,
Wait.
and it just sucks.
That's
This
what
is
you
a piece
always
of
do.
trash.
Well, that's what they say. There's no such thing as an original idea anymore.
No, there isn't. Like, this movie, the reason I liked it was because there was nostalgic moments of Alien. Yes, there was a long hallway
like Stranger
to
Things.
and Stranger
Right.
Things and other things in it. That's what made it good. It's the marrying of everything that we enjoy, that we see and we like. That's why a movie ends up being good, is because we see something that we like and we've always liked it, so therefore we like that movie.
Correct. So you have to have seen those movies in order to enjoy such a movie. So if this person, said person, did not like this movie, maybe said person didn't watch other movies. They can't understand.
Maybe.
They won't grasp the concept. I don't know.
You know, and that could be a lot of it, is that maybe you have to see Alien and Pacific Rim and Interstellar and Prometheus and that one with the lady that was a translator for the aliens, which I forgot.
Oh, what was that called? That one
don't
was so
remember.
good.
Like The Visitor? I think it was like The Visitor.
Yeah. Ooh, that was great.
Such a good
Visitor
movie.
with the grandparents?
No.
Oh.
No, this was with
What are you
Amy
talking
Andrew.
The
Is that her
Visitor.
name?
I thought the visitor was with
No,
the...
Amy something. I don't remember it.
The one Gazelle from
Giselle. Oh, yeah.
what was her name?
I think it's called Visitor.
No, her name
What?
is
I am
her name
hearing-
is Amy Adams.
Amy Adams. Yeah. Okay.
Oh.
It was Arrival.
Arrival.
Not the
where
Visitor.
where
Okay.
the aliens come and they like try to decipher their language to communicate with them, and then
Yes.
they know no bounds of time anymore because they've been
They're like-
touched by these aliens.
And you know what? That's another movie that messed me up, because at the
Right,
end you're like,
that movie
"What?"
messed me up.
Because it starts leading you down a path that you're not ready to be put down yet. Like, it's like, oh, coming into this side, there's like no concept of time or space or even being.
Yeah, you just had to accept that there was just like everything was circular and you weren't going to understand it because it was outside of the realm of your understanding.
Right. And also, parts of this movie reminded me of Cloud Atlas.
I've never seen that either.
Where you had to catch on.
I feel like I haven't seen a lot of sci-fi movies.
Maybe not. And maybe that's where this movie fails. You know, you end up having to watch so many sci-fi films, and if you're not a big sci-fi junkie like me, then you haven't seen a lot of them. Like, you haven't seen Blade Runner or
Nope.
What's the one with Chris Rock? Not Chris Rock.
Chris Tucker?
Chris Tucker and Lilo and anybody?
Who are these people?
Lilo.
Yeah, that was the name of the character. I couldn't remember the name of the actual actress. Like, I'm failing on a lot of parts here.
Yes.
Hold on.
Don't say
Chris
Lethal
Tucker.
Weapon, please. What would you be
Ew.
saying? Okay.
Do you even deserve to wear that Star Wars shirt?
Wow.
Oh, you mean The Fifth Element?
Thank you, Fifth Element.
Oh, my goodness.
There was points.
What are that?
Yeah,
That is a movie.
that
That I
sci-fi
think-
nerds watch.
Yes, that-
and that's it.
And then when the 20th century, was it the 20th century? I mean, 20th anniversary came out, everyone went nuts. Or 25th? I think it's 25.
I'm pretty sure it's 25. But yeah, that's if you're maybe
20th.
if you're not into that or Blade Runner or any of those ones, then maybe you won't like this. Maybe that is just something you need to know going in, that it's so sci-fi that maybe it's not the right film. But if you
I liked it. I'm not really into sci-fi.
But if you do want to come into a Cloverfield movie and not have to deal with incredible motion sickness or fear of rape, maybe this is a good one to start with.
Or murder.
Well put. Well put.
I'm just saying. Because the last two give you such bad anxiety that
Yeah.
it just makes you so
Really,
nervous.
though. That last one messed me up.
Oh, no, that has nothing compared to the first one. The first one has you messed up because your field of view is so limited and you can hear so much. And they spend so much time in the dark and doing things that you're like, what are you doing? I mean, I know that naturally you would want to stay in a group. You would want to follow people.
Sorry, go ahead.
What?
Nothing.
Because I'm really getting into this.
Yes.
Okay, yes, I don't care. But like all these natural things that would happen in a crisis that you just do, like you listen to authority. That's the first thing they do. They listen to the army, and then that one, and that ends up getting them like in serious trouble.
It always does.
And they start listening to people around them, and that gets them into more trouble and more, and all these things that we would end up doing and thinking that would be okay end up not being okay. And the funny thing is watching a movie like that and then going through a crisis like that, it would still end up happening. Because naturally, it's just what you do. You just react and you move forward and you try to figure out how not to screw things up as you're screwing them up. And that's why that movie gives me anxiety, because it's like, there's nothing else you could think of doing at that moment.
Yeah.
Although I would not get into a, no offense, Celeste, I'm sorry. I would not go up a bunch of different stories of a building that's crumbling to then try to jump across and save the person that my significant other. And I would just let that building crumble.
Wow.
Thanks.
Well, let's put it this way.
Say the same.
Preach.
I'll save you.
I would kill all of you, so that's
exactly.
okay.
That's what I was going with right now.
Well then.
She would
Survival instinct.
She would be a liability. She would be a liability almost immediately. Like if I saved her, we would all already be dead. Like I would have marked us for death, because the moment someone came around to like kill us all, she'd be gone and like have trapped us somehow so that she could get away.
I see what you're saying here.
So I'm not going to.
We know that I am a
devious individual.
I'm a Celeste person that looks out for Celeste.
Yes.
Celeste is gonna live.
Okay.
I don't know.
Everyone else will die.
I don't know what's
Celeste
gonna
will
happen
live.
to everyone else. But I'd leave my dogs behind. I'd leave my husband. I'd leave everyone I know and love.
No source of information.
Like here's the thing.
But without science, how will you survive?
Survival instincts, fam.
Yeah,
Can you
well.
make a fire?
Oh boy.
What?
That would be something to watch her make a fire.
I can
On the
make a
next
fire.
episode.
I can probably make a fire better than you could, Leonard. You have zero survival
I feel
instincts.
like we need to like have a survival off and see how it goes.
We should. You'll go crazy.
Probably. 15 minutes in, I'll be like,
Crying.
I have a splinter.
That would happen. Your hands
But-
are like so messed up.
They
You would
really
just
are.
die.
But here's the thing, like if we had her and she wasn't crazy, it would be great, because she would she would end up being the person that like just powered through everything.
If
But
I
you're
weren't
crazy.
crazy.
But
If
you're
she
crazy.
wasn't crazy.
If I had more of a conscious
No.
mind
Like, we
towards
would have-
others.
I feel like if the world went to crap slowly, you wouldn't go crazy. Because it wouldn't be all of a sudden. But if it was all of a sudden, we'd all be dead.
Oh yeah, I'd be like, bye, I'm out.
The first thing she'd do is she'd go into our closet, grab the gun, and shoot me, then shoot the dogs, and then leave. But not kill me, just wound. So
Well,
that she
that's-
could
I
get away.
couldn't kill you, but you are a liability. People are a liability in
Yeah.
these kind of things. You are your best friend during these times. Others will just drag you down and
See?
kill you.
There we go.
Okay then.
That's her philosophy. on
Trust
everything.
no one.
You're learning a lot today, Alena.
But
Now I know where I'm not going to be when the world ends.
you can be with Leonard. You'll be fine with Leonard.
Definitely
Leonard.
not with Leonard either, because he'll be dead.
Well,
No, let me explain. So I make lots of jokes, but I could totally handle that situation pretty well, because I would be the person that I'm the kind of person that once I have a group, I protect that group.
you see, you're too group-minded. I'm not about the group. I'm about the individual.
Yeah.
I'm like, a group will lay you down and will kill you.
Me, I'm more
Get rid of
about
group.
We want to start with a small group and then slowly grow, because we have to think about the economy of the group.
That didn't work in The Walking Dead, and it wouldn't work in this
First
scenario
off,
either.
it did work in The Walking Dead. You know what? You want to know why it worked in The Walking Dead? Because when the right group gets together, it works. The group that they have doesn't work. When you have a woman that has 2 tigers and a samurai sword, there's a problem. When you have a sheriff that
I
doesn't...
would be that woman.
Okay.
When you have a sheriff that can't even handle, like, the idea of the world going to crap and then having to deal with the reality of that, which is your wife dying and a bunch of other stuff, that's stupid. Like, he should be the first one to be able to handle an emergency situation.
That's what you think.
But he's not.
Nope.
Because he's just a
He's
weak person.
Kill him.
He was just a weak person.
Just by having a badge.
Shane was the strong person.
Doesn't make you strong.
Alena, what would you do in an emergency situation, in a crisis, in the end of the world?
Yeah, like immediately
That's a good question.
they tell you all chaos is broken out. It's martial law. Like everyone's going bat shit crazy. What would you do?
Make sure my house was on lockdown from nobody to get in except for the people that I have inside the building, and I will make sure if anybody tried to kill me, I would kill them first.
How?
I don't know at the moment.
Exactly.
Depends.
See, that's the thing. No one would know.
I would know.
I would be fine.
Kill everyone. Everyone is enemy.
Until, you would just make sure all the excitement passes over and everything will be fine. If I'm locked in my own home with enough food, enough equipment to survive at least a couple weeks.
This is
Couple weeks.
'Cause
This is
that's
the
all I
last
need.
years.
Here's the thing.
Years.
But you can't
Let's-
technically.
Let's play out that scenario. So world goes to crap. You lock it all down, right?
Yes.
Now you're just going with what the food you have in
Exactly.
there now.
And I can only survive on so much rations for several weeks.
I don't think you have enough food to survive on several weeks. You have enough vodka to survive on several weeks.
I told you. What makes you? Well, that's all that
I've seen it with my own eyes.
Who says you can't survive on alcohol?
I mean,
Well,
not saying you
there's
can't.
a lot of problems with that theory. But anyways,
Are you a doctor?
I would just carry alcohol for my wounds as
There
I
you go.
murdered everyone.
oh dear. We've gone down a different trail than I expected.
What would your survival instincts be?
Clearly, he wants to just take a group and beat Governor.
No, the first thing I would do is I would start formulating a plan, finding the right vehicle. That's the first thing I would do. I would steal a car or a truck or a big truck. First thing, actually, I would do is try to
For
figure
your
out.
giant group
to
that
turn
will
the
get
truck
you
on.
killed.
No. See, this is the idea behind the truck. Listen to me. Listen for a moment. Let's say you have a panel van, like a big panel van.
Oh, right, van. Great.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what?
Do you keep candy in
Maybe.
this van?
But let's say you have that. Now you have a place where you can store supplies mobily. When things go bad, you can get out of there, right?
Unless
quickly.
somebody destroys that van.
So let's take it one step farther. What if we had a big truck, like a moving truck?
And
Now
somebody
you have-
destroys that too.
Well, now you have something that can withstand a little bit more. And
Unless
they
you have a
move pretty
tank,
good.
I don't know how you're going to get out of this.
Well, that's the thing. I think that if you get, let's say, a moving van and just like go and start collecting supplies as you go, and the few people that you need, like the first thing I do is try to find a doctor because I know I'm going to need it.
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm going to need a doctor. I know I'm going to need someone who has a more logical mind, and I know I'm going to need someone who's a little bit irrational with a gun.
You won't find me there.
Nope. Celeste will not be there. She will be nowhere to be found
No,
or
she would have
trying
left
to kill
me
you.
the moment. No. See, that's the thing. She won't kill me. She'll just leave like a sticky note on my forehead that says, "World gone to crap.
You're
Gonna
on
go
your
kill
own."
people. Going to the mountains. Don't follow." Like that's all it would say. And I would go downstairs and I'd find all of our food missing.
It would
Everything
be-
that I would need gone.
Wow.
It would be so funny because I would become just like this mountain person and the world could go back to the way it was like 2 days later and I would never know because I would just be like on my mountain being a mountain person.
Like it could be the situation that happened in Hawaii where they accidentally sent a bad alert, and she will still run. She will still be out there. Like nothing actually happened, but she murdered 14 people and
On the way.
stole a car and has like all this supplies and now has built a house in the forest before like week 1 is up. And it's like a bad house and it's more like sticks together like on a
it's
branch.
a small
Jesus.
shelter with rocks.
And then like a year goes by and I assume she's like dead or something or has left me. And I'm like hiking in Yosemite and there she is. Just like all matted hair, not even speaking intelligent languages anymore. Like there's tourists around her, but she still pretends like no one exists. And so I go up to her and I try to talk to her, and the first thing she does is like scream and try to kill me because that's her
Wow.
instinct.
Wow.
And here's the thing. She does not deny that.
I do not. I know my ways.
The longer you're with someone, the more you know.
You're screwed.
I am, but it's fine because I'm a survivor.
And the
I can
world's not
handle
going
it.
to end anytime soon.
And it's
Exactly.
fine because chaos has not erupted yet.
And more importantly, Cloverfield Paradox. If you're a sci-fi nerd, watch it. If you're not, take caution. Don't go into it expecting an amazing experience. Go into it expecting to
Open-minded.
either enjoy it or enjoy it for what it is, which is just a really good thriller, or you may not enjoy it as much as everyone else. I don't think you could hate this movie. I think it has at least some elements that are good for a general audience.
I don't know. There's a lot of people hating this movie, but I didn't hate this movie. So.
I feel like maybe they hate it because they want to hate it.
Beta's gonna hate.
Because there were a lot of people that hate Cloverfield to hate Cloverfield. Not because of the movie, just because it's cool to hate it.
Right.
Because it's not cool to like it.
That's the hipster rationale.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's like, everyone really likes this, so therefore I have to hate it. Or maybe it's more of a, this is a trending thing right now. Watching something on Netflix, it's a Netflix original. It already is going to be good because people assume it. And now that means they have to hate it because, well, it's Netflix and I hate Netflix.
Right.
And there might be other reasons behind that. And I kind of hate that for the internet because it's like, well, now I don't know who's telling the truth and who's just hating it to hate it.
Well, that's why
People
you
are
come
so
into
stupid.
place. And here you guys are debunking
Exactly.
those.
Exactly. And more importantly,
We're just screaming into the void that is the internet.
exactly. Well, I mean, that's the best way to do it because, like them, screaming into the void sometimes puts you in the right place.
There you go.
There you go.
What void do you scream in?
My pillow mainly. Yeah. Usually. Anyways,
It's fine. I'm deaf in one ear. I can't hear a thing.
I could be being murdered and it'd just be like,
As long as it's on her right side.
All right. I can't hear you. Sorry. Can't help you.
but that's, I think this movie is just a good representation of good sci-fi. Good sci-fi. Not great, not fantastic. I do love this movie because I had those nostalgic moments, but maybe they won't have the same thing. But I really enjoy this movie, and it's definitely at least 6 gold blooms for me.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah. That's a lot of stars.
I'm going to give this 5
5 deep breaths into the microphone. What are you doing?
5 decapitated arms.
Wow.
That's not decapitated arms?
Amputated?
There you go. Decapitation is when your head comes off.
5 amputated arms.
Yeah.
Out of 2
Full-
doctors in space.
I was going to say 4 Russians filled with worms. Anyway.
Wow.
No,
Wow.
2 doctors in space. Because why would you send the doctor out into space? He's a doctor.
'Cause you
Why are you sending the doctor out there? He
Listen.
won't help you out there.
Listen, you have to have your bones to your Kirk, okay?
Wow.
Alrighty.
You have to have bones to Kirk. You have to have someone says, that's illogical, man. That's what you have to have. Okay.
Who says that?
Bones to Captain Kirk.
The doctor
Yeah, but who's
was
saying that?
Damn it,
useless
man, I'm-
and pretty much almost got carried out into space and didn't do anything.
No,
I don't
Bones is...
I'm
I don't
saying
I'm talking
understand.
about
who,
bones, okay?
Not who from Bones. I'm saying, but who's saying these things? It's not written anywhere. You don't
So
need them.
it's from Star Trek, not Bones.
What are you talking about?
Bones is the doctor's
doctor
name
in Star Trek.
Right.
The
I'm
one that-
talking about.
yeah.
Wait.
We're getting completely confused.
Let me retract that previous statement and say, I'm just a general question. Well, who's saying these things? These don't need to be happening. They could just have whoever they want on this
We
plane.
could leave the doctor
Ship.
in the ship
Yeah.
because why would he be out of the ship? He's a doctor.
You know who would have actually been better up there? A meteorologist. And I have a very good theory behind that. because I
There's
think
no weather in space.
there is weather in space.
Okay, there is. There's like...
There's weather in space.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I'm just
Please.
going to let you. No.
Well, isn't there like not thunderstorms, but lightning and
Okay,
stuff?
that stuff happens on planets.
Oh,
not in
got it.
space.
I know nothing about science. I don't know why you guys are letting me speak.
Can I rate this thing, please?
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you. Before I rate this, I'd like to make a comment. I have my finger up, pointing to the air and saying one comment.
Is it about sundogs?
It's not about sundogs or cloud iridescence. But let me tell you something. This is just a rhetorical question. Why did one guy get shot once, the doctor, and die instantly? And the other guy got shot in the same area first, didn't die, and then gets shot a second time. You think he's dead, and then comes back. Why did
Because
they choose
he
to
is
save him?
strong Russian.
Because you always need at least one
Rhetorical
more
question.
person.
And
Shut up.
also,
Just kidding.
the doctor probably wanted to die. You know, the will
He was
to
like,
live
"Take
wasn't
me."
really there, so it's just like, oh, well, since I'm shot.
Also, because in movies, unless you have a crew, a specific person like Tom Hanks in Castaway that can handle being by himself forever, you need another person.
Yeah, that woman could not. That just goes to show that they think that woman would never be able to survive to get back to her real planet or dimension. without
Bitch
having a
almost
man, a
fled
white
the
man.
ship to go to another
Except he
dimension.
doesn't help at all.
I wouldn't trust her at
He pushes
all.
buttons.
He pushes buttons because somebody else has to turn the key at the same time. That's all
Exactly.
he does.
Her arms aren't long enough. She needed somebody else, thankfully.
She needed
That girl, I would have killed that girl. That girl would have been dead.
I know.
Well,
Anyways, rate it.
Okay. Well, after that, I think I would have to rate this 2.5 Robert Downey Jr.
Oh,
Juniors
Which is just
Juniors.
the same as a star, remember?
yes.
out of maybe 6.
Out of
Rods.
6.
I'm not sure. Lightning
Okay.
rods.
Lightning rods. I don't understand that one, but okay.
So
Make
there's,
any sense.
so there's Robert Downey Jr.'s atop lightning rods.
I feel
What
like
a visual.
I feel like
Like
we need
anything
to.
you say makes sense.
I think we need to come up with a better rating system. I think that's
Who
the
says
first thing
this?
we need to do.
Who says these things?
Nobody. That's
Mine and
exactly the
Trevor's
problem.
reading system is illogical. And
Illogical, yes.
You don't know what we're saying. It's
So you
fine.
only actually get a rating from me. You don't get a rating from me
yeah,
because I'm
Bruce
giving so many
Goldblum's-
crazy stars.
Right? Every Goldblum
We're
is
not helpful.
5 stars, and you gave this movie 30 stars.
Holy moly.
35 stars. Didn't I?
7?
No. I
You gave it
6.
6
I gave it a
Goldblums,
6. Never
which
mind.
would be 30 stars.
Yes, I gave it 30 stars. That doesn't help anybody.
That's a high
Okay.
rating. What
It
did
is
you
a
give the
high
last
rating.
movie?
What was the last movie?
I-
Well, okay, technically the last movie we talked about was Jim
and Andy.
Jim and Andy, which is obviously a 10 out of 10 because
Oh.
there's no way that could be. I mean, it's so good. Like if we're talking real ratings, it's a 10 out of 10. Just because it's such a good documentary and you hate Jim Carrey but love him at the same time because you can't help but love him now.
All true things.
But anyways. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I don't know. If you're a sci-fi nerd like me who's like,
Be confident in your discussion.
what?
Nothing.
You keep saying, I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Maybe
No.
I liked it, but I'm not sure. Tell us the
Listen,
truth.
I have a lot of Vietnamese coffee in me right now. I'm sweating like crazy because my heart is just going. It's just
Pounding out
going.
of his chest.
Let me put it this way. If you're a sci-fi nerd, you'll like it because I liked it.
And you're saying you're a sci-fi nerd?
I am a big sci-fi nerd. I love sci-fi movies, and there are just never enough of them made. Let me tell you how big of a sci-fi nerd I am. And I know neither of you will know this movie, and I'm
Neither
okay
of
with
us.
that.
There's 2 people watching, listening.
I'm talking about you two.
Oh, that's 2. Sorry.
There was
Proceed.
a movie that came out with Daniel Craig that people tend to forget about, which is called Aliens versus Cowboys. And it was awesome. It
I
was
had
not
no
seen that
desire to see that movie
It was
because
so
why would I
good.
want to see that
Makes more
movie?
sense.
more
I
importantly,
remember seeing previews for that movie and I was just like, why?
more importantly, it was so enjoyable because of how stupid the concept was. But I'm like, yes, what would happen if cowboys had to fight aliens? And I feel like they got it. I feel like they really
Did the
got
Cowboys
it.
die?
I feel like they nailed that one.
No, don't. Eventually, they end up killing the aliens. It's fantastic.
I'll have to watch this movie someday.
You really need to. Like, you have to. It's ridiculous,
I
but
like
good.
sci-fi. I like thrillers.
By the way, they end up killing the aliens with the help of the Indians. The Native Americans end up like having the power to help them.
With their spiritualness
Yes.
and witchcraft.
Not even kidding you. Yes.
My eyes are open wide.
Yes, they are. All right. So, anybody watching anything fun other than sci-fi awesomeness? Anybody?
Well,
I finished Grace and Frankie, and now I'm
You
afraid to
keep-
get old.
You keep
oh,
saying you finished Grace and
And
Frankie.
I'm so afraid to get
You
old.
literally keep talking
you
about
just
it.
fall apart, and then you die. Oh man, I'm so afraid of getting old, and then your kids drop you off
Okay.
in like a home.
Celeste.
We're not having kids
Celeste.
because they can't leave me in
Celeste.
a home.
You're going really far down that rabbit hole. Gonna need you to like
To get old.
claw your way back
You
out
know,
of there.
when I was in high
might have
school,
to
I knew
turn off
this
your mic.
girl who was like, if I get old, just kill me.
Oh my
and I do
goodness.
see the philosophy now.
there's no will to live.
Oh my god. You know, you and I have this thing about if we were had a body part amputated, we would want someone to kill us because we're
Yes.
so
Vain.
yes.
My
and
mother
I'll-
would say.
I would be fine with that. Take my legs.
No,
No.
I'm terrified
Kill me.
of that thought. I would really just want someone to put a bullet in me because I can't even think about it.
Wow, guys.
I mean,
I
if
know.
I had no
it's
legs.
my own problem.
You're so gay and you don't even like boys. That has nothing to do with this, but it kind of sounded like Bane.
Speaking of gay,
Good segue.
Yeah. Where's this going?
so I am quite enjoying the new Queer Eye that Netflix is putting out. I watched the first 2 episodes today, and if it wasn't for the fact that we were watching Cloverfield, it would have been on the rest of the evening. It is enjoyable. It is emotional. It makes you cry. It just does.
Are they the same people from this TV
No,
show?
no. This is
Those
the
people
new
would be
Fab
so
Five.
old.
Oh, this is not Queer Eye for the Straight Guy. This is just.
This is Queer Eye. So this is the
Just
new
Queer
Fab
Eye.
Five. Now,
Oh.
because the old Fab Five obviously is pretty old now. They're pretty old, and they're much more successful. They don't need to do this. So they don't
Oh, they
need to
don't?
be. No. They're all like
Tell Meryl Streep
designers.
to stop
and-
making movies. Just kidding. I love her, by the way. So I just.
Meryl Streep. This is a heart to heart. Never stop making movies.
Oh.
No
Never
matter how
retire
much-
ever.
No matter how much money you make, just keep doing it, and I will keep paying to go and see you. So
Okay.
there you go.
There's that trade off right there.
Yep. Anyways, so Queer Eye, really, really good. The first episode, I didn't know if I was going to like because some of the personalities are a little bit stronger than the first Fab Five.
Oh.
Because we're bolder
Yeah.
in our new generation.
But they immediately say, like, the first Queer Eye was about acceptance. It was about, like, people accepting gay people as gay people and accepting themselves, too. But now it was more about inclusion. That's the whole thing. Like, they want everyone to feel accepted and loved and all this. So
No matter what sexuality?
no matter what sexuality.
Okay.
And so the first one they do is this guy in his 50s who is just a Southern boy who he's an older man. He has like lupus. He's old. He has all these problems. He's been divorced twice, and he's such a sweet guy, but he has such a bad image of himself. And they literally change his life, like to the point where at the end they get him back with his ex-wife. Like they literally change him so much that this has such a big impact on him that he just has this breakdown. It's like it was something else. It was so cool. And the second one, and it's not the second one doesn't have like that big of a turnaround, but even
But
for
that
him,
guy did need it.
he did, and they literally pulled him out of a depression. It's like such a good show.
Okay.
Such a good show. It's just a fun show.
And I found
longer
my
episodes.
spirit animal.
Yeah, there's one guy on there that's essentially the Celeste.
Oh my.
We would be best friends.
Yes, they would.
But would you?
She's crying.
Yes, she is crying.
She's crying.
He would. He actually would say that every time he cried. Like, oh, she's crying. He would. He would.
What?
He
lost
would
me.
use the she pronoun. Like he. That's what
Oh. Okay.
to describe himself. or herself. I don't know. I'm confused already. Anyways,
Well,
Just get out
this
of that, Leonard.
person would say she instead of he. There we go. So yeah, I'm really enjoying that, and I can't wait to keep watching it. Though there is a show that I keep forgetting to look up before I actually start talking about it.
and let me proceed and
yes,
tell you about this.
pass. Go.
My experience. Ooh,
Oh,
ooh,
nope.
audio on the cell
Yep.
phone. What was that? A little bit of porno or something?
No,
What are you
that
doing there?
was what was
Awkward?
her name from Grey's Anatomy? The one that was the blonde one that everyone was really annoyed with in the
Never
first
watched that
seasons.
show.
No say.
Oh, come on!
Anyway,
Need a little help here once in a while.
no help whatsoever.
We're too young and full of life.
Okay. Anyways, go ahead, Celeste. No. Whatever your name is, Alena.
Wow, I have no name. The woman, he has no name.
The woman has no name.
He's smiling inside. Can I say that? Can I do that? He is
He-
half laughing. Anyway,
Anyway,
I watched The End of the Effing World. And I know you guys have seen it. We've
Yes.
talked about this.
yes,
And I thought it was good.
good, just good.
How did the
I mean-
ending make you feel?
The ending made me feel like there's not going to be another one, but there is, because when you look it up online, there doesn't happen to have a year for the end of the series. So I think there's going to be more, maybe different characters. I don't know. I haven't looked this far into it. But I felt kind of like, that sucks. But I feel like that had to happen. One of those guys either had to get locked away or killed. Which, both of those things
Yeah.
probably happened. You can assume.
But
based
you
on-
don't know.
I don't know if they shot him and they missed.
Well, maybe.
It just went black. You hear a gunshot and the scene goes black. How do you know where that bullet went? They could have just scared him away. The bullet ricocheted off the rocks into the ocean.
And then he just dropped.
Did you see him drop?
I don't know.
Exactly. He doesn't drop. You don't see nothing. You see nothing. It's black. Anyway, I liked it.
Uh-huh.
Thought it was good. It was a very quirky weirdness that obviously I can relate to. Very relatable if you're weird and awkward
And full of anger.
and full of anger like I am sometimes.
When I watch that show, I do think of you.
And that is how you know
Oh boy.
this is that relatable. When your friends
boy.
can say, I think of you when I see this.
Okay, so the one that I keep thinking about, it's a new Netflix series coming out. I don't know if it's out yet. It's called Everything Sucks. It's
Can relate.
Oh, okay.
it's set in 1990s Oregon, and it's a member of a high school AV club that clashed with the drama club. It's like this really
Uh-oh.
funny just comedy series that they're doing with kids in high school in the 90s, and I'm like super excited for it.
I feel some jazz hands coming on.
No, there are no jazz hands.
Jazz hands.
Jazz hands. But yeah,
Oh, okay.
I'm looking forward to that one. So yeah, anyone else have anything? Anything?
I'm not done with The Crown yet, but I'm almost there.
Failing. Come on.
We're on another prime minister.
No. Have that one.
I've never seen any of those.
If you
good.
like period pieces and are interested in the Queen of England,
Watch.
Definitely get a video.
give it a go.
All right.
I have so many things to watch, guys.
So many. But you know what? That's what we do for fun and what we do for here. Just for everyone that's listening, because there's a lot to watch.
Too much.
Just on Netflix alone, just trying to find a movie for this podcast is overwhelming because there are so many options.
That's a better problem to have.
Although I refuse to watch Life as a Zucchini.
I've never
I
heard
want
of
to
this.
watch My Life as Zucchini. It
I
is this French children's film, and I see it in Target. I see it on Netflix. I want to watch My Life as a Zucchini.
I tell you
it's
what.
an hour and 7 minutes. I don't know why you're refusing.
All right. You
Is
know
it a
what?
cartoon?
Yes, it is.
It's a claymation.
I tell you what.
Wannabe Veggie Tales. Oh, go ahead.
You two can watch it.
Who said I wanted to watch a vegetable? I love zucchini, but I don't want to watch a zucchini.
It's about a boy, not an actual vegetable.
Oh.
His name is Zucchini.
Oh, I'm thinking of a claymation zucchini now
No.
with eyeballs.
There's no claymation in this
See?
at all.
I thought
Okay,
this was a claymation.
No, it's. I think it's one of those felt ones.
Oh, got it. Well, I'm going to
Stop
watch
motion?
it.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch it, and I'm going to tell you all what I think
Yes.
about it.
Do it.
I will.
Do it.
I will.
All right. All right, everyone. I think that's enough rambling for tonight. So, want to thank y'all for just listening in and listening to Celeste's breathing right now because it's fantastic. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. I hope you all have a wonderful whatever time of the day it is, wherever you are, and we will talk to you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Toodles.